Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Putin tells us, warns us, threatens us that he will use some missiles of nuclear intensity to destroy Ukrainian control and command centers, including Kiev. Then, don't worry, I would look into what the US intelligence services say about the Putin's threat. Don't worry, he's not going to do it. This is what they tell us. I'm going to tell you the intensity of the attack that occurred overnight on the 27th to 28th of November as a retaliatory strike for the Ukrainians using ATACMS missiles to strike deep inside Russia. So last night, this was the retaliatory strike. The Russian attack on 28th of November, Ukraine's air defenses shot down 79 missiles and 35 drones out of 188 Russian air targets. I made a video a minute ago. I uploaded it. It's posted with this news, with this piece of information. Now, the Russians, which this comes from the Russians, they say, which is what Putin says, obviously, that they used 90 missiles and 100 drones, and 17 targets were hit. This is just a retaliatory, but Putin says, I'm going to do more if you continue. They always match these baboons. Now, let's go. And the baboons are the guys who provide the Ukrainians with all the military to fight until the last Ukrainian. Here, Russia Today. Oreshnik missiles could be used to strike Kiev. Now, don't worry, this guy said that this kind of ICBMs were not having an, a warhead in the attack on Dnipropetrovsk or Dnieper last time. So don't worry, it's just empty threats. Russia has several of the weapon systems at its disposal and is building more of them, the president has warned. So let's see. Target could be, but let's go with this one, maybe this is better. The Russian military is selecting targets in Ukraine for further possible strikes using the country's new Oreshnik hypersonic ballistic missiles. Targets could be decision-making centers, the Russian leader said during a meeting with Moscow. Military facilities could be targeted, along with defense and industrial enterprises, especially since the Kiev regime has repeatedly attempted to strike at facilities of national importance in Russia. He said. And we have last night, Russia launched 90 missiles and 100 drones against and I'm quoting, Oreshnik has no counterparts in the world, of course, and I believe none will appear anytime soon. The system has dozens of homing warheads. Their targets of Mach 10 speed, their temperature reaches 4000, anything located strikes is obliterated into elemental particles reduced to dust. Okay, well, this is what you said. Now here we have this one. Putin threatens to strike decision-making centers in Kiev with new Oreshnik ballistic missiles. This is a bad dude. Putin claimed that Russia has started mass production of Oreshnik ballistic missiles. But we got the next one. US believes Russian nuclear strike unlikely, according to Reuters. Moscow earlier vowed to retaliate against Ukraine's use of American-made missiles. The US believes it is unlikely that Russia would use nuclear weapons in response to Ukraine's strikes deep into its territory with Western-supplied missiles. So, according to the news agency, for several months, US officials had been locked in an often divisive debate. Okay, let's see. Let's see, we have nuclear weapons and we have conventional weapons that have a intensity equal to an atomic bomb. Would you care? Let's say someone says, you know what, I'm going to, maybe I should not go with this one, but I'm going to harm you, not harm you, I'm going to you with a knife or I'm going to with a bullet. Which one would you prefer? Well, it's the same outcome. So the same here. Does it matter that the Russians will use a nuclear weapon? I'm talking about destruction. A nuclear weapon. Let's say the nuclear weapon says a quantity of 3. This is the level. Let's say nuclear weapon, 3. And then you have conventional weapons. Use, 50 of them. They want to have 3. Does it matter? It's the same intensity. You're going to be pounded 15 times, or you're going to be pounded 15 times. It doesn't matter. The intensity is the same. So here, these guys will not use nuclear weapons, but they will use conventional weapons. And when they're going to strike, let's say, Kiev, they're going to use it in such a way that the destruction caused will match an atomic or nuclear weapon. And this is exactly what Putin says in the next article that I'm going to read here. Again, the US intelligence says Russian nuclear strike unlikely after Ukraine given long-range strike permission. Reuters. So, that means, take it easy, the guys who told you and I, or me, that Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction and they have those mobile labs, you remember those mobile labs? The same guys tell you now that Russia nuclear strike unlikely. Do you believe them? It's not like it's unlikely you're going to receive $1 or not. This is unlikely if you're going to be, I don't know, filing for bankruptcy soon, or you're going to be a millionaire. That's the difference. So you trust them? I don't believe those guys. Squat, zero. So you can trust them, but remember, they destroyed 2 countries, and then they went to Libya and so on. 2 countries on the intelligence, the US intelligence. I'm talking about Iraq and Afghanistan. And after they didn't find anything, they said, it's okay, we brought freedom and democracy. Did they want it? No, it's okay. We thought that they might like it, so we did that. Imagine that happening in a neighborhood. Someone comes in your family and says, oh, I don't like your dynamics here. I'm going to change it a little bit because I think it's going to be better for you. I decided from outside. But hey, you can't do the same thing to me? No. So again, you want to trust these guys? I don't. And is here. Unlikely after Ukraine given long-range strike permission. What does that mean? Keep going. That's unlikely they will do it. Now, if that happens, tough luck. What can you do? Shit, right? Is anybody going to be or anything? Nah. Lose their job? Nah. It's a mini tiny more error that will destroy, I don't know, a few cities in Ukraine with some Ukrainians, right? They don't care. Again, we got the article here from Reuters. Nuclear attack unlikely despite Putin's warning. US and intelligence says. That means 0 to me. And if it's not a nuclear attack, it's going to be a Oreshnik ballistic missile, hypersonic ballistic missile with a payload of the same intensity. Good job. Very smart. Now let's see what's going on here. According to Sputnik, Oreshnik missile, Putin unveils new details of its destructive power. Alright, it says the missile's warhead reaches a temperature of 4,000 degrees Celsius, making it highly destructive. Anything in the blast zone is broken down into elementary particles, essentially turning it into dust. The Oreshnik can target even well-protected, deeply buried structures, making it effective against fortified sites. While not a weapon of mass destruction, its power is still capable of causing massive destruction without a nuclear charge. The missile is designed for extremely precise strikes, ensuring high-value targets are hit with deadly accuracy. This is what he says. Now, obviously you can say this is garbage. Putin explained that CSTO members that Russia was forced to conduct tests of the Oreshnik missile in response to the long-range missile strike on the Bryansk and Kursk region. Alright, so this is what they say now. Obviously, they can lie, right? Here, according to military and technical specialists, in the case of mass group launch of these missiles, that is, several Oreshniks launched in a cluster in one strike, the power of that strike will be comparable to the use of nuclear weapons. Everything in the epicenter of the explosion is broken down into fractions, elementary particles, and essentially turned into dust. So, however, Putin clarified that the Oreshnik is not a weapon of mass destruction, but a highly precise weapon that does not carry a nuclear payload. That is, we're gonna use it, and when these media operatives in the free media world of the free world, which is Al Capone's plantation, when they will tell you that's a weapon of mass destruction, remember this. Now, you are mature enough to say, oh, just because Putin says it is not a weapons of mass destruction, is not. Well, there's specifications. You can go and check on your own what's weapons of mass destruction, what is it, and what qualifies as not being. And then if you do 2 clicks, you're going to find out if it is or is not. So don't trust either side. Go and verify. So he says that we're going to use in one focused attack a cluster of this kind of missiles that the payload will add to a nuclear attack. You can say, well, see, is the outcome, Emil, as you said, 3-3. Well, if I drop, I don't know, napalm, not napalm is not, it's just burning, but anyway, not just burning, but anyway, I was thinking about the Vietnam War. But if I drop on let's say Dresden, how much the Allies dropped in the Second World War, and they flattened Dresden, and they killed what, according to sources, between 60,000 to 150,000 civilians. All right, then what's that? Is that a nuclear weapon? That is almost the same as the atomic bomb dropped by the Americans on the civilian cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So if we talk about war crimes and war criminals, not far behind, we can find our boys doing that. All right, let's move to the next article, which is this one. Me. My friends, what do you think? Will Russia use nuclear weapons? I don't think they need to. I don't think they need to. They explained clearly what they will do. Just keep shooting your ATACMS into Russia, and these guys will retaliate in kind. Now, control centers. So, decision-making centers with the intensity of a nuclear weapon. And Kiev will be targeted. All right, I guess it's pretty clear. But don't worry, our intelligence services told us that no, it's not likely they're going to use it. If they use it, well, my bad. It was just a faulty, assessment of the information we received. But it's okay. We move on, and we are going to tell you again what to think next. Why? Because we are intelligence services. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.